Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thanks again for your support and welcome back to Heroes in My City. In honor of the Memorial Weekend, I would like to introduce to you Lieutenant Colonel Rufus Curry Jr.
How you doing?
Brother Curry, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. I'm honored to sit down with an actual real-life hero. If you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit with us, your branch of military and what drove you to that branch.
My branch of military service, the United States Army. What drove me to the branch was, I guess it kind of like, God has a sense of humor. It's two things I said I would never do when I graduated from high school. One was be a law enforcement officer, and two was join the military. Been both of them, and I had a career in the military. So when I was on the campus of Florida A&M University, a buddy of mine, Al Jackson, retired Major United States Army Engineering Corps, he said to me, he says, "Hey man," he said, "you ought to try out this ROTC thing." And I was like, "Nah, it's really not me." And then he said, "Well, it's kind of like playing ball when we played football in high school." So I was like, "Oh, okay, you got my attention now." Then he said, "Oh yeah, they pay you $100 a month." So I was like, $100 a month? That's big money back then. So they had my attention. My economic brain was locked in.
Locked in.
So and I went and I checked it out, and one of the greatest decisions I have ever made in my life, and it has afforded me an opportunity to do things not only for myself and have some adventure and serve my country, but it's a evidence that, one, you surround yourself with good people. If you trust these good people, he was one of my best friends, and he brought something to me that I was even willing to consider. And I tell him every time I talk to him, I said, "You literally changed my life." And not only mine, but he put me in a position to do some things for my wife and my children as well.
Wow.
Yeah, literally changed my life.
So if I happen to be a young man who was considering military and just kind of on the fence about it, what advice would you lend to me?
Well, what I would do is, one, shoot the brother in the back of the room first.
Playing the music in the background while we shooting the interview.
Come on. So what I would tell a young person is this. This is a great place to hit the reset button. If you're not clear right now, you don't know if you want to go to college or anything like that. If you qualify, you take the ASVAB, you select the branch that fits your personality, you score high enough, you study, and you score high enough on the ASVAB so that you can be selective. You can pick which job that is available. Because, you know what I'm saying? Because, and you know what the thing that's really interesting about most kids that are in high school, you ask them if they're tired of school, they say, "I'm tired of school." So the minute that you open your mind to education, the minute you become an autodidact, a self-taught person, the minute that you grab initiative and you chew it and you swallow initiative, I mean, the world's your oyster. So when I look at the military, it is an opportunity. You look at it as a tool. You're going to do a job. It's a tool to put you in a different place.
Okay. Well, Brother Curry, thank you. As you can all see, why he will be considered as a hero to me. I appreciate you. I thank you. And I love you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So, as I was saying earlier, there's not just a hero, but heroes in my city. And we continue with my brother, Master Sergeant Phil Reese.
Hey, how's it going, man? Good to be here. I'm Master Sergeant retired Philip Reese, United States Army. Served 22 active military years, 3 combat tours, and I had a very good time, met a lot of good people in those 22 years, friends that have still stay in contact with to this day.
Wow, 22 years. Now, so this one's a little special because this really is not only a hero, but an extremely close friend to me, like a brother to me. So I may be smiling the whole time, so please forgive me. But Master Sergeant Reese, if you just would share with us just one fond memory that you feel is important for people to maybe know about as far as your military experience.
Well, the thing about the military is that you're going to meet people from all walks of life. I grew up a little country boy in Roberta, Georgia, and my first duty assignment was New Ulm, Germany, at 18 years of age.
Wow.
Yeah. And the funniest thing that I encountered was we had landed in Frankfurt, Germany, did our in-processing, and I told you I'm a little country boy, so they had took us out to get on buses to go to different parts of the country. Mm-hmm. So we're standing back and had them a little duffel bag, and we waiting to board the bus, and the bus driver was German, and him and another German bus driver, start talking. And when they opened their mouths, didn't no English come out. They were speaking German. And man, I could not stop laughing because I never been nowhere that, I heard a different language.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, like Spanish or something like that, but it was a different language, and
eye-opening experience.
I could not stop laughing. Everybody was looking at me like I had 18 heads, But but that was like my first duty assignment, 18 years old, just leaving home on the other side of the world. But it made me grow up fast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. And I mean, I loved every minute of it.
Well, my brother, Master Sergeant Phil Reese, I want to thank you. I want to bring you on so people just can see some of my true heroes. So thank you for joining me today and just allowing me to be able to highlight you.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. It's always good to be around good people. Hey, man, and like I say, we're brothers. So anything I can do, love you, bro.
Love you, bro. And here we are again. And like we said earlier, not all heroes wear capes, but some do fly high. So I would like to introduce you to another close friend of mine, someone I consider to be a brother, not only a hero, Technical Sergeant Carlos Sampson.
How y'all doing?
So, Brother Sampson, so far we've had all members of the Army branch of the military. Would you mind sharing your branch and just an experience with us?
Sure. I'm Tech Sergeant Carlos Sampson, currently serving as a reservist with the Air Force out of MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa.
Now, is everybody in the Air Force this serious?
Not all the time, sometimes.
So if you just had to share an experience with a young person trying to figure out what branch of the military that will best fit for them, what kind of advice would you give them?
I could only share what my thought process when I was trying to join the military. After 9/11, being that I'm a New Yorker, is when I decided I wanted to go into the military. And I started going to the recruiting offices, asking questions. Then I started asking regular military members I see on the streets at the mall, asking questions about their experiences, what they like, the pros and the cons, retired military members. So that's what I did to figure out which branch I wanted to go into and if I really wanted to join the military.
Now, I'm not sure what you all heard, but for me, that kind of solidified the hero stamp for me, because what I heard was that you had a call to action and you answered that call. So for that, I want to thank you, my brother. I'm happy that you allow me to celebrate you, not just this weekend, but just as a friend and as a brother. I appreciate you. I love you.
Love you, my bro.
Thank you, bro. So I'm not saying that I saved the best for last, but I saved the best for last. So this last hero is someone who has probably known me longer than I've known myself. So I've had the privilege of modeling who I am after this hero. It's been a pleasure for me to be able to grow up under his guidance, and see an example of what a true hero really is. So once again, I'm talking too much. So I'm going to let him introduce himself because I don't want to mess it up, and just out of respect. So please introduce yourself.
My name is Lennox Alfred Fitzgerald Reed George. I was born in Guyana, South America, came to the United States in July of 1972. I went and took a high school assessment, and it was determined that I was above high school, and that it was recommended that I apply to Florida A&M, and that's how I got in. While I was in college, I pledged a military organization known as the National Honor Society of Pershing Rifle, which was named after a general in the U.S. Army by the name of General John J. Pershing. Once I graduated, I went in the service. I was attempting to go to med school, and the cost of medical school, I joined the military, where they would send me to medical school, and then I would commit to 7 years. After finishing medical school, I would commit to 7 years in the military. However, I met a lieutenant colonel in the military who was a fraternity brother, an Omega, and he recommended I stay in. I basically got field promotion. We were in summer camp, and they walk up to me and they say, "This is it. You got two options. You either take charge of the entire battalion station and become the NCOIC,
Okay.
that which is the highest enlisted person in charge. And when you're the NCOIC, you're the battalion NCOIC, so you're responsible for
Everybody.
all, right, officers, enlisted, everybody, all the. And so the last unit I was in, it was called a 38 Alpha unit. And basically what 38 Alpha is that you, in times of war, if the United States know that they are going to attack a country, they obviously the country wouldn't know, but they would know before. So they send a group, this company goes in, and they try to move anyone who is in the line, or who would be in the line of fire. They move you out of the area. So when the war starts, it's less collateral damage. And all I stayed in the military again from January 1978 until June of 1996.
I don't think there is one phase of my life that you weren't either in somewhat a part of or just around for.
Right.
From the beginning to where I am today.
Right.
But me personally, I felt like I never saw you or heard you say a bad word. I never saw you like not in a good mood. Like, and for the most part, when we think of people of the military, we think of this serious person that's always regimented and always, and I didn't see that from you. So I was always curious, like, how are you able to still find that positive peace, so to speak, in that environment?
Well, it's called discipline. You have, in the military, there are various disciplines. And it depends on the theater that you're in. So, and what you have to train yourself to do is not carry over from your military life, or even from your home to your work, or from work to home. So you have to train yourself, and you have to be disciplined in those areas. When you at work, it's all about work. When you're at home, it's all about home. If you are in the military, it's all about the assignment of the military, because if you look at it, and if you allow to get things mixed up, it's going to take a longer time. If you're focused on what you're doing, you can spend the shortest amount of time doing it because you're totally focused on what you're doing. Keep your mind focused on what the task at hand is. And then you do that task. After the task, and this is taught to me by the military, you evaluate what you did. And then you determine what was done right, what was done wrong, what could have been done better. And then you have to do an after-action review. That's an after-action review, so that the next time you do it, the mistakes that were made, you can eliminate it. But the first thing is to be able to focus and lock out all distraction and stay. You have to learn to stay focused.
Yeah.
And I realized this a long time ago. You don't never know who is watching you. And you always have to carry yourself in a way that the person would say, you know what, that's how I want to carry myself.
Now, through all this, I'm sure we're able to see why this would be truly considered not just the hero in this moment, but just a hero in my life, period. You know, always on point, always aware, always a hero. So I want to thank you for joining me today and just being a part of this and also sharing your story with everybody.
Oh, and I appreciate the opportunity as well.
So I thank you. I appreciate
You my hero as
And
well,
I love
because
you.
I look at the way you came from and where you are. You turned out good. No, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Proud of where you are.